Hey everyone, today we're breaking down Glinda in 6 minutes or less. Glinda the Good, or Glinda Upland of the Upper Uplands, is a spoiled, bubbly, ambitious, and extremely popular young woman when we meet her in Wicked. If you're familiar with the novels, you already know that Glinda's father is the leader of the town she comes from, called Frodica. And his name, and I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, is Highmuster Arduena. Her mother is named Lorena Upland. So when we first meet Glinda, she's treated as a celebrity by the other students. She's a known figure in this world, and she comes from a line of people that everybody is aware of. As we get to know Glinda, or as she's later known, Glinda, due to the mispronunciation of her name, that she turns into a positive even though it starts off as a negative, we recognize that ambition is the major motivator for everything she does. But there is, however, a sleeping moral compass that has not quite been awoken, but we see little hints of in Glinda in the early stages of introducing the character. Her good, genuine, ethical, and moral nature is buried between heaps of ambition and a desire to be the most popular, most successful, and most powerful. But there's something in there that we see early in little moments that indicates she has some awareness of what the world is outside of her, pardon the pun, bubble. Pink bubble, of course. So Glinda's deepest flaw on the surface seems to be her craving of power, popularity, her absolutely outsized ambition. But another flaw that she carries is her blindness. Glinda is a classically privileged character in that she has not really witnessed or experienced a certain amount of suffering or struggle in the world, and so it's harder for her to recognize the kinds of things that come with that. The Elphaba character comes into her world, and initially she just feels pity for her. She also can't stand her from a personality standpoint. But Glinda's deepest flaw is her inability to recognize what is happening in the experience of others. She lacks a certain amount of empathy, but it's slowly awoken in her as she's exposed to different types of people and different types of situations. Glinda's ambition is still her guiding principle. She will knock down anything or anyone that gets in between her and her goals. This includes how she wants to approach her opportunities with the wizard and how she wants to approach all of her time at Chiz University. But these are the early stages when we're still getting to know the character, and we're seeing some cracks in this super ambitious, popular, surface-obsessed individual. When Glinda sees Elphaba brave a situation where she's going to be mocked, she's going to be seen as different, she's going to be ostracized, to her, that becomes a moment of recognition that it's possible to care about more, that there are things that might be more important than just being popular. And it also gives her some empathy because she created this situation and she sees the damaging ways of her actions. So the wheels start to turn a little bit. And then we get to this place where Glinda thinks, okay, we were opposites initially, but now we're friends, and it's my job to save this person, to help them conform to the kind of identity and role that I have. The two go from worst enemies to best friends. And when confronted with the crimes of the wizard and the sort of darker intentions he has for Oz, Glinda doesn't quite know what to do, and she's caught in the middle. But again, she's witnessing Elphaba's bravery, which in turn helps her adapt and change. And the bond formed between the two of them becomes the core message of the entire story. What happens with Glinda and Elphaba is they embrace, subvert, and overpower superficial expectations. And what it means is, by recognizing that they're only seen a certain way and that they're not going to get anybody to ever see them differently, they grab a hold of that power and use it to their advantage. And that becomes the arc of the story for Glinda. Knowing what you're recognized as from the outside may not be all that you are, but you're capable of using that to subvert expectations and to actually do things that matter to you. The two of them cannot change the way people perceive them, but they can change what they choose to do with that perception. They become fully empowered and realized, and their friendship is what carries them through. So it's recognizing the opposite in the other, also recognizing yourself in everybody around you, and starting to see past the surface. And all of these are very big, complicated ideas, but it's laid out so simply because the arc for Glinda is that she goes from somebody who only wants to fulfill a very narrow, specifically defined narrative of what a person should be, to being somebody who accepts that there are all different kinds of people who are coming in all different kinds of packages, and that empathy for everyone is critical to being a fully formed human being. Thanks so much for watching. I'm George. This is MovieWeb. Please make sure to like, rate, and subscribe. Let us know what you think. Leave a question or comment in the comment section. And thanks so much for watching.